Thank you all very much. I'm excited to welcome you all to the 2024 State of the County Address and my first State of the County as Chair of the Hennepin County Board. Before we begin, we want to take some time to recognize that the magnificent land and vibrant waterways from which our institutions benefit are located upon the cultural, spiritual, and indigenous homeland of the Dakota Oyate. I invite Lemoyne Lapointe to read the full land and water acknowledgement passed by the Hennepin County Board on November 1st, 2022. Lemoyne was a part of the team that put this document together, and we're grateful for his work and for joining us here today. Please help me in welcoming Lemoyne.
Good morning. Before I share this document with you, I'd like to thank the county for adopting this statement as vital and as meaningful to the Native people, not only within Hennepin County, but within the state of Minnesota. Here's what the title of the statement says. The title is Dakota Makoche na Mini Okichiyaka. What that means in English is Dakota Land and Water Acknowledgement Statement. And here's what the statement says. As part of our commitment to address the unresolved legacy of genocide, oppression, and settler colonialism, Hennepin County acknowledges that the magnificent land and vibrant waterways from which our institutions benefit are located upon the cultural, spiritual, and indigenous homeland of the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota Nation. The Dakota people originated at the confluence of the Minnesota-Wakpa, which is the Minnesota River, and Wakpa, which is the Mississippi River. For millennia, the Dakota Oyate acknowledged and embraced the immeasurable expanse of our circular world as Unchi Maka, our grandmother Earth. This beautiful terrestrial grandmother provided the Dakota warm shelter when it was cold. She gave them shade when it was hot. She fed them when they were hungry and gave them water when they were thirsty. She is still the first role model to all her grandchildren, the two-legged, the four-legged, those that fly, those that crawl, those that rise from the ground, and those that flow. Unchimaka unwaveringly remains a nurturing and compassionate matriarch to present and future generations. The Dakota people's wise growth and ever-evolving relationship under Unchi Maka's guidance enabled them to flourish. Their lives were immersed in and inseparable from the unique powers and varying gifts inherent in all parts of her natural world. Their daily prayers to the totality of life always concluded with the declaration, Bitaku ye Oyasi, another reverent acknowledgement of creation, meaning all my relatives. Furthermore, we recognize that a prominent term of endearment within Dakota society that is descriptive of the innumerable lakes and rivers within the Dakota homeland is the place name Minnesota Makoche, or the land of misty waters. In this realm, the Dakota became a sovereign nation, a sovereignty that predates the sovereignty of the United States. The sovereignty status of the Dakota remains today. The four cohesive subdivisions of the Dakota Oyate responsible for the stewardship of this land are the Bde Wakantchua, or the village of the sacred lake. Sisi Tchua, or the village of fish scales, or Wachpe Kute, the village of shooting leaves, and Wachpe Tchua, the village of the leaves bands. Hennepin County calls attention to the Dakota people's ongoing connection to this special place. Today, our county institutions continue to benefit from the unfavorable treaties, military campaigns, and settler colonialism, which encouraged white newcomers to settle and colonize Native American territory. The county played a role in shaping the history of Dakota people. This was enabled by laws such as the Homestead Act of 1862, which brought 75,000 settlers to Minnesota in the first 3 years of its enactment, resulting in the displacement and starvation of Dakota people. Atop this, the heinous 1863 Dakota Removal Act coercively displaced and removed Dakota and Ho-Chunk people from Minnesota after a brutal incarceration at Fort Snelling. Therefore, Hennepin County acknowledged the capacity for today's county institutions to work more closely and reparatively with the Dakota people, whose homeland we occupy. The Ojibwe and Ho-Chunk peoples, whose traditional homelands border the Dakota homeland in northern and southern Minnesota, and all First Nations peoples who currently live in or interact and associate with Hennepin County in a broader context. In creating transformative partnerships and alliances, convening conversations to explore possibilities, creating increased engagement and consultation with the Native American community, organizing events and workshops on Indigenous history, culture, and contemporary issues, and looking at the potential for developing land and water-based projects together. I want to thank you for listening to this land and water acknowledgement statement, which was adopted by Hennepin County. A very, very good statement indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Lemoyne, and to the whole team that worked hard to put that together. It is important that we continue to acknowledge and take action to repair past harms. Before we jump into the more traditional State of the County speech, I want to invite Muna Abdullahi to share a piece of poetry. Muna is a first generation Somali American, Black, Muslim, and international spoken word poet based in Minneapolis. She's also a District 2 resident and this past week won the Grand Slam championship here in the Twin Cities. So, round of applause for that. Like Muna, I am the middle daughter of immigrants. Before she gives us with her performance, I want to share what my mother said to me in a large room like this at my victory party after being sworn into office for the very first time in January 2019. Both my parents were a part of the program, and my dad had already spoken. And so we were standing back here. And after a wonderfully congratulatory roast from my mother, her last sentence was looking back at me and making direct eye contact. And she said, Irene, fulfill your promises because that is what is expected. This universal immigrant sentiment is the topic of Muna's piece titled The Unwritten Letter from My Immigrant Parent. Please join me in welcoming Muna to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. So to really ground this space, I want to do a call and response. Are y'all ready for that? All right. I am alive. Therefore, this space is a lie. I am alive. Therefore, this space is a lie. My daughter, when you came up to me at 5 years old and told me you wanted to be just like me when you grew up, parents are usually filled with joy. But me, my heart dropped to the floor because I wasn't. My daughter, you were too young and too spoiled to understand what it's like to be me. How it feels to work endless hours day in and day out and to still have time to learn a language that doesn't even know how to pronounce you correctly. Tells you. Go back to a country many died to escape from. My daughter, I did not bring you here to be anything like me. I brought you here for a reason. The reason I push you to be a doctor, a lawyer, a leader is because we live in a system that expects nothing but less from you. So in this household, I expect everything but less from you, my daughter. My daughter. You are called first generation for a reason. It is because the American dream was never meant for me. It was always meant for you. So my daughter, take a native culture and a native language and speak, learn, jump, fail, fall, speak, learn, jump, fail, fall, and get back up, my daughter. My daughter. My daughter. The best of me lives inside of you. So speak.
Thank you, Muna, for your moving performance. As you know, I am Commissioner Irene Fernando, but you can call me Commish. I use she, her pronouns and have the privilege of representing District 2 on the Hennepin County Board and serving as the current board chair. I'm the first Filipino American elected in the state of Minnesota. I'm the youngest woman to serve on the Hennepin County Board since our founding 172 years ago. And in January of 2023, I was elected as the first person of color to serve as board chair. For those of you who know me, giving a large address like this isn't exactly my preferred method of communication, but I've been told it's traditional and important to do, and I'm very, very grateful to be here. While I'm not one to stand in the way of tradition, I am one to put a fun spin on it. So we hope that you enjoy today's event and that you enjoy my remarks. I believe strongly in the work we're doing at Hennepin County. Our mission is to serve residents through transformative services that reduce disparities, eliminate inequities, and create opportunity for all. While we've made a lot of progress in the last few years, there is still so much we must do to serve our residents, who remain our North Star. Today, I'll be sharing many of our accomplishments, as well as inviting you to support our future work. We are gathered in the 625 Building Auditorium. This is a new and very exciting space for us. This room and building demonstrates the physical transformation of our spaces in a way that acknowledges the future of our workforce, one that operates in person, remote, and hybrid. So thanks for joining in person, and thanks for joining us beyond the physical space, virtually from your homes, workplaces, schools, or one of our multiple satellite locations in the county. Joining me today are Hennepin County Commissioners Jeff Lundy from District 1, Marion Green from District 3, Angela Conley from District 4, and Kevin Anderson from District 7. Vice Chair Debbie Gattell from District 5 is unable to be with us today, but she sends her regards. I also want to thank our two county-wide elected officials for joining today, County Attorney Mary Moriarty and County Sheriff Tawana Witt. We are also joined by representatives from Native nations, the state of Minnesota, other counties, the Metropolitan Council, and cities across Hennepin County. Thank you for being here, for your vision, and for your partnership. This event and everything we highlight today is only possible thanks to the dedicated work of our incredible staff. My deepest thanks goes out to our nearly 10,000 employees. You are the people interfacing with our residents, implementing our programs, and providing services. Our achievements are because of your leadership, questions, ideas, feedback, and genius, and so truly, we thank you. Also want to offer our sincere gratitude to County Administrator Huff, our Assistant County Administrators, and leadership team who are here today or watching virtually. Special thanks to the staff who contributed to the production of this address today for not only the on-site event here, but our various satellite locations and the live stream. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to my family and Hype crew for joining me today in person and online. Whether you interact with us through our service centers, health centers, or libraries, or whether you're an elected official who mostly speaks with our IGR team, our dedicated staff work to build community across the county. Let's start by putting context around the importance of our community, our county, and the role we play throughout the region. Hennepin County is Minnesota's most populated county with 1.3 million residents. We're made up of 45 municipalities that span from urban cities to rural communities. It includes global destinations like the Mall of America, major transit hubs like the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, and important innovation and research centers like the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. We are a center of commerce. Approximately 1/3 of the state's jobs come from businesses in Hennepin, including 8 Fortune 500 companies and many small businesses and entrepreneurs. From art to athletics, food to entertainment, enjoying nature to civic activism, we have a little bit of something for everyone here in Hennepin. And the work we do as a government has the potential to serve and affect millions of people today and many, many generations to come. Changes to environmental and energy policy will affect the air quality and water quality for all Minnesotans. Improvements to our transportation infrastructure and transit systems will affect employment opportunities and the moving of goods and services across our state. Local governments matter. Counties matter. Individuals do not and cannot feel the effects of federal government policy the same way that they do the policies and programs of our local governments. For many of our residents, no level of government has more effect on their day-to-day life than county government. We do not take this responsibility lightly, and it is my personal mission to ensure that we extend communities' vision with strong governance and through a multi-generational lens. Thank you for trusting us with your hopes, dreams, and feedback. We strive to make Hennepin a great place to live, work, and play. The vision we're pursuing, the compassionate work we do reflects that. Beyond our state and region, Hennepin is also a national leader. Our programs are repeatedly recognized and awarded by national organizations, and in the past few years especially, federal leaders have visited to observe and learn from our successes. On health, we want to ensure that everyone has access to the care they need. A big example of this was our work around Medicaid renewal. Throughout the COVID federal emergency, people enrolled in Medicaid would stay continuously enrolled. When the emergency rules ended, folks needed to actively re-enroll to ensure that they did not lose medical coverage. The renewal process affected hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans, including 190,000 households in Hennepin. We collaborated with external partners to inform and support residents through the renewal process, and we improved IT processes so as many residents as possible could keep their medical coverage. We are making major investments in our healthcare infrastructure. North Point Health and Wellness Center is very close to wrapping up a comprehensive expansion project to meet the growing health and social service needs of our community. When the campus expansion project is complete, North Point will provide increased access to quality and innovative health and wellness services, expanded space for clinics and programs, and more employment and economic development opportunities. In 2023, we launched a $1.7 million mental health awareness community campaign aimed at normalizing mental health conversations and reducing stigma through education and connections. The call to truly see mental health earned more than 202 million total impressions. Digital impressions alone totaled nearly 49 million, and the See Mental Health team participated in 36 community events, engaging more than 8,000 people in person across the county. We're also committed to maintaining healthier, safer homes. Since 2004, we've removed lead paint from 5,200 houses and apartment units. Housing and economic development teams host non-paint lead poisoning testing events, promote in-home screenings, offer full home inspections, and help remedy health hazards through grant-funded home repairs. In 2023 alone, 212 homes were improved through lead removal and safety improvements. On housing, I believe that access to dignified housing is a human right. I look forward to when our policies and fundings match that value. I'm incredibly proud of this county board for your unwavering commitment to address housing needs in the region. We are actively investing state, federal, and county dollars to keep homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. Hennepin invested $191 million in 2023. With that investment, the county funded services and operations for more than 15,000 units of supportive housing, and we've invested over $98 million in transitional and permanent housing. Hennepin County truly leads the region when it comes to the full housing continuum. Another way we've leveraged the funding was to eliminate the requirement that families with eligible earned income contribute to the cost of shelter stay. By eliminating the pay to stay requirement, we gave families back agency over their financial resources and their ability to build assets that position them to be successful when they are able to leave shelter. Homelessness to housing is a person-centered and trauma-informed approach to housing services for people experiencing homelessness. Each individual is paired with a case manager who provides holistic support and resources in order to help them sustainably secure housing. By the end of 2023, less than 2 years since the program started, the program housed 673 individuals, and we're proud to say that 94% of the individuals housed through this program have not returned to the homeless response system. Hennepin also led in reintroducing single-room occupancy housing into our community since 2020. So far, the county has acquired 5 properties and assisted a partner in purchasing a 6th. Last year, 2 of the properties were sold, rehabilitated, and began leasing to residents, creating 83 new units of deeply affordable housing. Additionally, we're investing money to help home buyers and to eliminate barriers to home ownership. Our Home Buyer Assistance Program began in 2020 as a pilot program for populations disproportionately impacted by systemic barriers to homeownership. This pilot has already helped 20 residents purchase their first home, 85% of whom identified as Black or African American. In 2023, our Housing and Redevelopment Authority launched its first designated fund for homeownership assistance, constituting its largest annual investment in homeownership. We've expanded participation in the Homestead Market Value Exclusion Program. Homeowners who participate in this program receive tangible benefits related to property and income taxes, such as property tax savings and eligibility for statewide property tax refunds. However, many eligible residents just don't homestead. That's why we created a multi-departmental team to evaluate homesteading rates and to increase participation. The team found that race, language, income, and geography impact application rates. Through direct multilingual outreach and community events, the team was able to enroll 5,800 new homesteaded properties, saving each household hundreds, even thousands of dollars per year. Through our Elevate Hennepin program, we provide businesses with a full range of supportive opportunities, tools, and resources to help strengthen their businesses and reach their goals. To date, almost 2,200 businesses have utilized Elevate Hennepin, and our advisors have delivered over 21,000 hours of no-cost, on-demand consulting to solve problems and help business owners. This has led to the creation of more than 100 new businesses and the creation or preservation of 300 jobs. In addition to working with businesses, we do a lot to help workers too. Last year, the county launched a guaranteed basic income pilot program called Raise the Baseline. Raise the Baseline addresses pandemic exacerbated disparities by making 15 monthly direct payments to eligible residents. Participants get to make their own decisions about how to spend the money to meet their family's needs. The pilot launched last summer. 167 families are currently receiving payments. There are many factors that make Raise the Baseline unique from other similar programs across the country, including innovative IT support, a streamlined enrollment process, payments based on family size, and a taper down period to prepare for a successful program exit. The pilot will conclude in December of this year. We are working with a research partner to gain insights from program participants and are looking forward to using this pilot to inform our future policies and practices to support resident income. We also support employment opportunities through the Pathways program. Pathways are customized educational programs designed to train job seekers for in-demand positions. Since 2014, Hennepin teams have trained over 700 people and hired over 400 graduates from Hennepin's Pathways program, with 45 graduates hired just this past year in 2023. There are currently That's my spouse. There are currently 30 distinct Pathway job opportunities. Pathway hires are diverse and reflect our region's demographics. More than 60% of hires identify as a person of color. Many are multilingual, veterans, and immigrants. We also engage youth with public sector experiences through community partners like Step Up, Brooklink, and Urban Scholars. And in the context of income, we also recognize that improving income, unfortunately, can often have unintended complications for individuals and families receiving other kinds of government assistance. That's why we partnered with 13 community-based organizations to implement unique programs aimed at reducing and ultimately eliminating the negative impacts earned income can have on residents who are participating in public assistance programs. Strategies vary and range from providing financial assistance to establishing emergency funds to providing employment, education, and financial coaching services. On environmental justice, we are investing now in long-term solutions. From expanding our tree canopies to creating a new climate action plan to proactive leadership on solid waste. As a North Minneapolis resident, I've advocated for the closure of HERC since long before I was elected in office. The county's public position has appropriately evolved over the last year, especially due to new laws, information, studies, and perspectives. This led the county board to pursuing a plan to stop burning trash as soon as 2028, and we are very excited about the work that's been done towards the HERC's responsible closure. And even more so, we are excited to dedicate our time working with cities and the state of Minnesota to implement zero waste policies and reduce how much waste is created to begin with. A key partnership for the board is our deep collaboration with the Hennepin delegation in the state legislature. Working closely and collaboratively with legislators and with the assistance of our intergovernmental relations staff, we have been able to achieve favorable outcomes in key policy areas for the county. Last year was a particularly productive and successful session, and we're already continuing that progress this year. Thanks to this strong partnership and alongside community voice and advocacy, we were able to accomplish many of the county's state policy priorities last year, and I'd like to highlight a few of them now. The Protect Reproductive Options Act ensures that every Minnesotan now has the fundamental right to make decisions about their own reproductive health care, including the right to use or refuse reproductive health care, to continue a pregnancy and give birth, or to obtain an abortion. The Restore the Vote Act makes sure Minnesotans who are not currently incarcerated for a felony conviction can vote, which strengthens our society by reintegrating people who've completed their sentences. And the Driver's Licenses for All bill allows undocumented residents to obtain a driver's license, ensuring our residents and roads are safer. I could go on, but now let's focus on legislation that specifically equips the county to better serve residents. In environmental policy, the county received funding for state investment in our zero waste plan and climate action goals. In transportation, dedicated funding was established for projects in metro counties, which is something we've been asking for a long time. In housing policy, the state established new revenue streams and dedicated much needed rental and housing assistance funding, which will be instrumental in stabilizing residents and families, as well as preventing evictions and homelessness. The legislature also passed a bill that expanded Minnesota Care to undocumented Minnesotans, ensuring that all residents can access the health care that they need. And the Minnesota Rehabilitation and Reinvestment Act was passed, which will bring large reforms to the area of law, safety, and justice. Funding from these bills and others allows us to implement programming to assist our residents, address disparities, strengthen our economy, implement climate justice, and fund the systems that solve problems in the region, the state, and beyond. Our cities and municipalities are also incredibly important partners in so much of the work that we do. One collaboration that has been overwhelmingly successful is the 911 Embedded Social Worker Program, which just this past year has now expanded to every municipality in the county. Through this program, embedded social workers receive referrals from municipal law enforcement agencies regarding individuals who might have mental health, chemical dependency, or other needs. In these calls, social workers offer support, assessments, and connections to community services, with the goal to reduce criminal justice system involvement and to create timely access to social services. As an example of this program's effectiveness, embedded social workers produced an 80% reduction in calls among the top 25 callers in Brooklyn Park. We're excited for the future of this program and the many other opportunities to collaborate with city governments. Next, I want to highlight a couple opportunities we've had to partner with community organizations, nonprofits, and other providers. Last spring, the county concluded our anti-racism initiative, a project which dedicated $300,000 of funding from the 2022 county budget to support ongoing community building, healing, and anti-racism work taking place in the community surrounding George Floyd Square. We partnered with two organizations for this initiative, a national nonprofit, the People's Institute for Survival and Beyond, and a local community organization, the Central Area Neighborhood Development Organization. The knowledge, relationships, and community built through each aspect of this initiative were impactful. And the money from the county was a huge support to these organizations to advance the anti-racism work they'd already been doing and continue to do. In 2021, Hennepin County and the Metropolitan Council launched a first of its kind anti-displacement program to support residents and businesses impacted by the Blue Line Extension Light Rail. We conducted an 18-month engagement process with the community surrounding the planned Blue Line extension. The anti-displacement work group, made up of community advocates, residents, and stakeholders, some of whom are here, developed 17 recommended policies for Blue Line Extension government partners to consider, build upon, and implement. The work group would not be possible without our close partnership with the Center for Urban and Regional Affairs, or CURA. They led the cohort, and they bring their extensive knowledge of leading community research through a racial equity lens. Thanks to that work, the Blue Line Extension project will be designed to benefit residents and businesses currently living in these communities. We will make sure our current neighbors can remain in the community to experience the transformative benefits and community prosperity that this transit project can bring now and into the future. Both of these projects were well received in their communities, and the feedback from participants have been very positive. This is the kind of co-governing and community impact we can achieve when we work together with community leaders and organizations. Through all of this work across the county and with our partners, the common goal we work towards is serving our residents. As an organization, we recently updated our mission, vision, and values to integrate our commitment to disparity reduction and to reflect the changes we have experienced as a county. The world, our community, and our government institutions have changed a lot in the last few years. As an organization, we need to reflect those changes, evolve, and remain flexible in order to best serve our residents and community. I've used that word a lot, community, throughout these remarks because community connection is critical to our work. We must continue finding ways to further engage with and deepen our partnership with communities. One of the ways we currently rely on our communities is through community advisory boards. Members of the public and local officials can be appointed to serve on more than 11 various advisory boards, task forces, and committees. I thank these board members who advise county commissioners on issues and programs, help set policy, and deal with a variety of topics of concern to the county. The perspectives and lived experiences of these board members are invaluable as we try to better meet the needs of our residents. I want to impress upon everyone here today the importance and the need for collaboration with our communities. This means asking for and welcoming feedback on policies and decision making. This means building partnerships and providing funding to community organizations to create connections and support residents. This means increasing access to government spaces and information. This means continued and growing investment for youth, LGBTQ plus neighbors and coworkers, people with disabilities, and others who might be disenfranchised from our systems. I'm committed to increasing community inclusion and participation in county government, and I ask everyone here and watching online to do the same. Because it is not enough for us to dream about the world we wish to create. We must also ask ourselves, what are we willing to give up to create that world? What are we willing to do, to risk, to challenge, to invent? Only when we ask these questions and take those actions will we achieve the world that we deserve. In closing, first to District 2 residents, thanks for betting on a 30-year-old newcomer many years ago. And to all residents, I am here because of you. I am leading with you and for you. I am humbled by your support, and I promise to continue working very hard every single day to make sure your voices have a seat at our decision-making table. Effective government is all about ensuring that everyone has what they need to lead full and vibrant lives, authentic in their personhood and with a genuine sense of belonging. Government should also be about dedicated innovation and the bravery to take calculated risks. I've often called myself an idea refurbisher because being good at leading and governing isn't about coming up with all the answers yourself. It's about working with dedicated teams, building off of each other, challenging one another, and being deeply, deeply tied to the communities we serve. That's how we make meaningful change. That's what we are doing in Hedrid. And while I am very proud of our innovative work and Hennepin's continued leadership in the areas of affordable housing, climate, transit, health outcomes, and addressing the unsheltered homelessness crisis, I also know how much more our communities still need from governments. So I promise to continue working to meaningfully improve the lives of residents today and for our shared future, for our youngest residents and ones that we haven't met yet. Finally, I again extend my deepest gratitude to residents, community partners, county staff, my colleagues, our county sheriff and county attorney, for your work, dedication, and partnership. I look forward to continuing to work hard on all of your behalf to achieve a more equitable county. Thank you for being here today and for tuning in virtually. We'll end with a reception just outside this room which features food and decor from all 7 Hennepin districts, including these beautiful arrangements, the balloons. There's also Filipino food. Round of applause for all of the vendors who We also have a photo backdrop for those that are into photos and to-go boxes so you can take home stuff right away. In my culture, you save the food first. So that's my encouragement. So I really hope you stay and mingle. I have deep appreciation for everyone who put this together and each team member for your, I want to say tireless work, but it is kind of tiring, for your dedicated work. I am Commissioner Irene Fernando, but you can call me Commish. Thank you.